Hey, I'm Greg Mann, broker owner of Greater Orlando Realty, and welcome back to the GMANN Show. In this changing world, people working from their homes, people looking for jobs, the job market changing, quite often it's very difficult to find somebody who's found a job that's their passion. But today I have found somebody who's been in the same job for 37 years. It's his lifestyle now, and he loves it. I want to welcome my first guest, Frank Whitton from Mercedes of Orlando. How are you doing,
Thank you, Greg.
Frank?
Thank you. Great to be here.
Frank, let me ask you this. When you first left college, did you expect you'd find a job that you'd be in for almost 40 years?
No, I never did. I wasn't 100% sure I would find something like that. When I was in college, I worked as a technician part-time and then found a job at a car dealership in sales, and then eventually moved to Mercedes Benz of Orlando, where I developed a passion for the automobiles.
So the driving force is the car. Every guy I know loves cars. They love it. They like to drive them. They like to build them. They like to fix them. They just like to look at them. So what drives you every day? I mean, 37 years selling, well, I believe it's the best car in the world. Yeah. What drives you? What drives you every day?
Well, it's a combination of things. Of course, the product is excellent. I mean, it's never really let me down. The clientele is incredible. And so working with those automobiles, working with the clientele that's so great, every day, I enjoy going to work every day because it's just a new day every day, plus the products are so wonderful.
So for you, it's not even work. It's the same as my job. It's just like, for me, it's fun. I go and show houses and I help people buy a home. You're doing the same. You're letting people live the dream, really, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm more of a consultant than I am a salesperson. I always take the concept that I provide information for people and let them make the decisions. And so there's no pressure to purchase, but it's just a fun day.
So when you first started, you're out of college, and where did you go to college?
I went to the University of Miami, and when I was there, I was working part-time as a technician, and then moved up to West Palm Beach, where I worked in a Volkswagen dealership and then a Porsche store, and then this job opened up. I always wanted to be with Mercedes Benz. I always remember the first time I drove in a Mercedes Benz, and it made such an impression upon me that I felt it was the best automobile in the world.
Can you remember what car that was?
Yeah, it was a 300 SD, and it was back in the late 70s, so it was quite a while ago. But I think if you ask anybody, when's the first time you either saw or drove a Mercedes Benz, they will remember.
Yeah, actually, in fact, yeah, they do, I'm sure, because it's a different experience, isn't it?
It is. It's one of the iconic badges. It's next to Coca-Cola. It's probably the second most recognized star in the world.
It really is, yeah. So for someone who's just getting into the job market, they're leaving college, and a lot of people are confused and lost and think, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. They change their mind 100 times. You had a pretty set plan.
Yeah, I did. I decided that, I wanted to get with a product that I believed in. I wanted to do something that I enjoyed, which was basically helping people find a better path to ownership. And I wanted to build a brand, my own brand, within a business to where people would actually come back to me, refer people to me. And it gets easier every year now because I do have such a big loyal following.
Yeah. Now, to toot your horn a little bit, I know you've been Sales Rep of the Year for many, many, many years, and they probably got fed up of giving you the award. So I've bought cars from you too, and I just want to say the experience is unbelievable.
Oh.
It's relaxed. You hit the nail on the head. You're giving information. You're letting the consumer, take that into the mind, think things over, and then say yes. One thing I find impressive with the way you approach your business, because it's a business inside a business, really.
Right.
Is that you are always available. You always send out birthday cards and little reminders. Does everyone in the dealership do that? Do you see that often?
No, they don't. I think a lot of times salespeople come in, they'll work for a couple of years, and they'll jump to another product, whatever the hottest product is. I always felt that if I was going to do this long term, that I needed to do those things, do the extra things above and beyond, send out the birthday cards, be accessible 24/7. Now with smartphones, I mean, I get text messages Sunday afternoon, Saturday night, but it doesn't bother me because I'm helping people with issues. And everybody wants to get answers instantly nowadays with the internet. But even in the past, I was one of the first to have a voice recorder because we used to have those little message sheets. I said, this has got to go away. So I put a little recorder in my office where people could leave a message and I could get back to them right away. So a Palm Pilot, the phones have been incredible now. That's the best tool.
So you've kept up with technology. Mercedes has definitely kept up with technology. In fact, I think at this moment in time, they're a step above the competitors. They've got a phenomenal cabin in every single car. And we'll get back to the cars in a few minutes. When we start looking at gas against electric, that's another avenue we're going to talk about. How do you see that kind of market evolving now with Mercedes?
Sure. Well, Mercedes wants to be the #1 luxury car in the EV market. And unquestionably, they have the best product lineup right now. I think that EVs still have the infrastructure still has a little ways to go. I think people have some range anxiety over EVs, but they're quiet, they're fast, and they're smooth. And around town, I don't think you could have a better choice. Long distance, you have to plan if you're going to take a trip. So that's the only difference really between an electric car and a gas car is that currently there's just not enough charging stations. But when that develops, that will disappear. I think so.
Do you ever see any manufacturer just going completely electric?
Yeah, I think so in the future. I think actually Volkswagen or Volvo had said that they were going to be all EVs, and then of course in California by 2035 you're not going to be able to sell a gas car there.
Yeah, that's going to be different, isn't it?
Yeah, so and that's a major market for Mercedes, for all manufacturers.
Yeah,
so
really is.
You've got to have a pretty good lineup of EVs.
Well, it's funny you should bring up California because I was reading an article yesterday. The mansion tax is kicking in, and a lot of those people that are selling these huge $40-50 million homes are now offering buy my house, get a free car. So I'm sure a few Mercedes are being given away there. When you have a brand new customer come into the dealership, they've never bought a Mercedes before. Do they is the car selling itself, or do you have to kind of massage people a little bit?
Well, sure. You have to appeal to their desires. You have to sit down with them. I typically sit down with them for 15-20 minutes and do kind of an interview as far as what their needs are, what they're looking for, what's important to them in their next automobile. We might not always be that automobile for that person, and I would prefer to tell somebody that, maybe we don't have what you want, then try and push them into something that is not going to work for them in the future. Now, we have over 70 models of cars, so we usually have something for everybody, but sometimes it's just not a right mix. And so I think that goes a long way to trust and integrity, which is the foundation of any business.
Now, let me ask you this. People talk about entry-level Ferraris, entry-level Porsches. Is there an entry-level Mercedes?
Yeah, we definitely have vehicles in the average price range. We have C-Class, GLAs. We have a lot of CLAs, a lot of different models, and they can be viewed at mbusa.com. You can go in and build your own vehicle. They will price them for you. So that's usually a tool that I have my customers look at first.
Yeah, sure. And I bought several cars from you, actually. So I've always had a great experience. But for a new customer to you, just give us a quick synopsis. I walk through the dealership door. I'm introduced to Frank Whitton. You sit me down in the office, we do the little interview, then what happens from there?
Well, typically, if we select, depending upon what they're looking for, let's say a 4-door mid-size sedan, I would take them out and show them a couple of different options, open cars up, take them for a test drive, demonstrate features that are important to them, and ask them if they have any questions, allow them to drive, and then come back and present figures if they're interested at that point.
So that's awesome. So now they've found the car they want, they purchased the car. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't stop there. I mean, Mercedes is like an ongoing thing forever, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I have always felt that I need to be the single point of contact at the dealership, so I provide my cell number, and I tell my customers, look, you have any questions, concerns, any issues, don't call anybody else here, just call me, because I know the ropes to get through the store, and that helps in facilitating what their needs are. At least they can get an answer a whole lot quicker. So many people call places and you get a recording and you press this button and you press that button, and they just get frustrated. So I said, don't waste time doing that. Please call me directly. They feel a little uneasy doing that, but eventually they come around and do it. And
that's a smart thing to do, because you're all like
in touch with them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, plus my name and face is on the forefront every time they need something, so it just helps.
It really does help. Now, what's your favorite Mercedes?
Well, I'd have to say any of the AMG products have always been my favorite, because I do like the performance, the handling, and the comfort. We used to have an S63. We don't have it right now. It will come back out. It's the large 4-door sedan with the AMG performance package on it, or an E63, which is our middle size sedan. So I do like those. I do drive an E350. I'm not quite at the AMG level, but I do have one. So
tell me this, Frank. If somebody wants to get hold of you, how do they do that?
Yeah, they can reach me on my cell phone, which is 407-496-7760. I'm also located at Mercedes Benz of Orlando in Maitland. We're the oldest dealership in Orlando. We're on 1792 and the Maitland Boulevard overpass. Or you can reach me at my email at Whitton, my last name, Whitton, my first initial F as in Frank, at autonation.com.
Thanks very much, Frank. I appreciate being on the show. I can tell you now, as a consumer myself, I bought multiple Mercedes from Frank. Every single car has been a gem, and every time I've traded the car back in, it's been a brilliant experience. So if you're looking to purchase a Mercedes, call Frank today. You'll be surprised if you've not owned one before. You'll be surprised how great they are. And actually, they're very inexpensive to service when you really look at things. So again, thanks for being on the show, Frank. Much appreciated. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're going to see the Mortgage Minute when we come back.
Managing your investment property is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Sign up at GoRent123.com. 2. Let Greater Orlando Realty handle everything for you when it comes to managing your property. From qualifying tenants to collecting rent, processing maintenance requests, and everything in between. 3. Sit back, relax, and count all that money you're making. Earning passive income on your property is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Greater Orlando Realty. Visit GoRent123.com today.
Hey, welcome back to the GMANN Show. Here with Laura Collins from First International Title. Laura, tell me what you do, tell me how you do it, and tell me how people get hold of you.
Thank you. I am Laura Collins with First International Title. My phone number is 314-265-9000. And I always appreciate a text to get to know me. I am one of the sales reps for the downtown office of First International Title. We do have 37 offices, and I represent our downtown office and Waterford Lakes office. One of the things about me with my clients are realtors and loan officers mostly, and anybody that's selling their house, they get to choose their title company. And so that's why a lot of people depend on their realtors to choose their title company, and that's why they're my clients. I have worked at Disney for 20 years, and anybody that works with me is going to have that kind of customer service that Disney has instilled in me. I love to help, I love to be available, and I want to make sure that they are growing their business, and it is about them.
So you'll do open houses, you'll go to offices, you'll help agents build their business, all with a cheerful smile. How do people get hold of you?
You can, again, get a hold of me, 314-265-9000.
Hey, I'm Greg Mann and welcome back to the GMANN Show. I've got Sonia Hishami from Edge Home Finance with me, and today in the Mortgage Minute we're talking FHA loans.
Yes, we are. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. The mortgage business has changed dramatically in the last 3 months. Rates have gone up. People focus so much on the rate.
Yes.
First-time buyers are struggling to get into the market. One of the tools that a first-time buyer can use to get into the market is the FHA loan. Can you give us some insight on that?
I would love to. It's actually, I'm passionate about FHA loans, as awkward as that might sound. The reason is FHA didn't have a chance to get in the market 6 months ago, a year ago. It was either conventional or cash, and now FHA is taking a whole lot of space in the market. And the reason for that is it's actually very exciting. And the private, or not the private mortgage insurance, but the mortgage insurance on it on the monthly has come down from 0.85% to 0.55%, and that could mean on a $300,000 home, it could be about $100 less on the monthly payment compared to before. So, although it gives the buyers a lot more room to buy with, the ratios we work with gives them more space so they can buy more of a home than they could before. So it's exciting for us.
That is exciting. Now, I know as an agent, as someone who's been doing this 20 plus years, when you approach a seller with an FHA loan, they almost go, we've got FHA, what? No way, that's the wrong mindset to have as a seller, because an FHA loan is a solid loan. The buyer's a really solid buyer. They've got good credit. They may not have a lot of spare cash. So if you're talking to a real estate agent who's working with somebody and you're trying to pre-approve them, what sort of conversations do you have with the agent?
Well, it's funny with our agents, when they're on the buyer side, FHA is the best loan out there. But when they get on the seller side, all of a sudden, it's not so great. But I honestly don't think there's anything to fear from an FHA loan. If anything, it's government backed. We as a lender, and it depends on which lender you go to. A lot of banks don't do FHA. So you have to, most of the time, me being a mortgage broker, I do those all day long. It's even a better option now than conventional before. And there aren't many restrictions as people may think on an FHA loan compared to conventional. I know there's a lot of fear on the appraisal process. If the home is safe to be living, to live in, that's all the government cares about. That's the only thing that everybody should be concerned about. If there's wires open, or if there's things, or the roof, if there's a situation that's unsafe for a buyer, we shouldn't put a buyer in it anyway. So it's actually an amazing loan. I love FHA loans.
So as a consumer, if I'm trying to buy, first-time buyer, and I'm talking to an agent that I know, and they say, why don't you talk to Sonia about your loan, and you bring up FHA, what sort of questions should I ask you?
So, there's different options. What I would want to know with FHA, down payment is 3.5%, where it's more forgiving on the credit score. It gives you on the total debt to income ratios, how much money comes in as income and how much debt that could be on there. There's more room on an FHA. The back is 55 compared to 43 on conventional. So we have more space, and it's not a locked in exact amount. We can push it out to be higher than. And so when we talk about 55% debt to income ratios, that's everything on your credit report, basically, including your credit cards and car payments and home, loan, future home loan. So if your income is $5,000 a month, we can go higher than $2,500 on all those total expenses. So it gives a little more space to buy. It's everything that the government is trying to put more people into the FHA loans. And that's why they're giving, lowering the insurance on it and being least, softening up the guidelines for it.
So Sonia, if somebody wants to get hold of you and talk about FHA loans, how do they do that?
Yes, that would be great. My phone number is 407-403-8658, and my website is loanswithsonia.com.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for watching the show today. Stay tuned. I'll be right back with a fantastic guest. We're going to talk insurance. Speak to you soon.